All right, next grip break is the X break. This is another one that I like to use. This one can be used as we're starting to thread for the triangle. Typically, as I saw that the X break would be taught, is that they bring the bottom leg in first and then that top leg. But the problem with bringing in that top leg, as I talked about, is that I've now taken away my ability to control his posture, and there's not really much I can do from this situation where my top leg is threaded through and my bottom leg isn't. I'm pretty screwed here, and I risk him being able to come up on top. Threading the top leg through, start setting me up for those triangles, which is very awesome. And now, as this leg comes through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it through and I'm going to kind of check it more here up at his forearm. This is going to allow me to try and create the space that's necessary, that if he tries to keep his arms clasped together really tight right now, it's going to be difficult to feed this top one through. But here I can push out, I can open this up, so here I can take my knee and point it up to the sky if I need to, and I'll be able to thread this guy through. Whether it ends up on top or below your other leg doesn't ultimately matter, but if your leg is on top, this is the guy that we want to be able to extract sooner because it's the one that needs to control posture. And so by it being on top, if the grip ends up breaking here, but then his arm starts coming out and I don't like this, I can extract it sooner to then move to something like the triangle. If I bury it underneath my own leg, I might get stuck here and I might end up on bottom. So the X break is very simple. We're incorporating both our legs to break the grip here. I'm just gonna get this, I'm gonna weave this other leg through his arm, and I'm just creating this X of my shins against his bicep, the crook of his elbow, or even his forearm, depending on where it's sitting. My toes are pointing out and curling in towards each other, so that it's making it more difficult for him to be able to extract his arm and go around. If I do something like this, and I'm not incorporating my feet at all, it's still gonna be very strong. Obviously, we're using our entire body against our opponent's arms. If I break that grip though, he can now easily extract his arm and get to a grip, or even just pull his elbow back and reach around my leg. So pull the elbow back, slide around, yeah, and goes here. I want to try and block him like this. See how my toes have actually curled and they're starting to touch each other? That means I'm creating a backstop behind this elbow here. I've encompassed it 360 degrees, so that now as I break this grip, try and circle your arm, okay? Perfect. My legs can overpower his one arm, so curl it all the way through. This is where we'll externally rotate our hips, flaring our knees to make sure that our toes can point as close together, whether they're level with each other more so, or we have them offset like this, doesn't matter. Best we can do, and once again, if it's not perfect, doesn't matter. Here, as I extend, I'm going to use my shins, I'm going to extend my legs, cutting into his bicep. It's the blades of my shin digging into his elbow, his bicep, his forearm, into the tendons. It's a very hard thing for him to hold on to. Here, extending and breaking that grip. I have a lot of tension loaded here through this Kimura, and so now here if he tries to reach through and control, he can't. And then honestly, I keep this grip, that control, as I bring this arm back, and I pinch my knees here to isolate the shoulder, and I look to finish the armbar. If you feel like this isn't strong enough to finish the armbar, which it does make the mechanics a little bit more difficult, I bring that top leg out, that control. I'll keep this leg over top in that triangle configuration because this is still very strong for me to isolate the arm and finish the armbar. So here, I got my configuration. I bring this to his bicep, I thread it through the triangle. I open up space and I bring this leg on top through to the X break. I extend, curling my toes towards each other, and at this point, I give a really good snap where I'm going to pull back and off to the side as I extend my legs here, there, to break that grip. I keep control of his arm here. I sit back, control the back of his hand. I pinch my knees so that this shoulder doesn't move, because right now, his shoulder can move around and the force bleeds out. I pinch my knees together on his shoulder to isolate it, take the slack out, rotate it, finish the armbar. If I need to, this top leg comes out, control here, see how my knees can now pinch together much more effectively, and I can break his posture, and I finish the armbar from there. Pretty hard to screw up the X break, as long as you can get to that position, because we're incorporating both of our legs against our opponent's far arm, and it makes it really easy to break the grip.